So Newcastle have qualified for the Champions League after a 0-0 draw with Leicester, secured them a top four finish the other night, and it's just absolutely brilliant. It's the first time Newcastle have been in the Champions League for 20 years. It's just mad. And in this video, I'm going to look at 5 things that make it wonderful. So the first thing is that it obviously feels really good as a Newcastle supporter today to wake up knowing that we have secured not just European football, but European football at the highest level in the Champions League. And for years and years and years, we've taken absolute rubbish and from fans of all clubs, and we've been irrelevant. We haven't had anything to argue back with, and it's always been really, really frustrating. But now we've become relevant again, even though it's just really this season. It is quite funny to see how many people are really disliking it. There are a lot of fans out there of other clubs who are pleased for us. I will say that, but fans, particularly I've come across online of Arsenal, Man United, and Liverpool, it always seems to be those fans that have the biggest issue with us and don't really like the fact that we're in the top 4. So that's been quite amusing, really. The second thing that I think is going to happen is that we are obviously going to strengthen the squad in the summer. Eddie Howe's already done a press conference saying that this is a massive transfer window for us coming up. And this is where in the past Newcastle have gone wrong when we've qualified for European competitions, that we haven't strengthened at the right time. This time, it's totally different. We've got the right owners doing the right thing at the right time with the right manager. And the transfer window is going to be so exciting to see what happens, because Eddie Howe mentioned last week about needing 2 first teams, basically first 11s, good enough to rotate in and out. So really, we're about 6-7 players short of having that now. So that's going to be really interesting to see who goes, who comes in, and just who our sort of 22 players are that we can kind of rotate in and out. Basically, you need a full squad of players who can deputise for multiple positions, and so it's going to be really exciting to find out what happens there. The third thing that will happen, it's already started happening, is fans of other clubs trying to belittle us, trying to belittle the achievement of qualifying for the Champions League. I've seen a lot of people saying you're just going to get knocked out in the group stages. Well, do you know what? So what? It doesn't honestly matter next season, because it's all about just getting there, being there, getting the money from it, and building with it. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we will do what we do. Newcastle United, we play in the English Premier League, which is the strongest league in the world. If we strengthen in the summer, there's no reason why we can't get out of a group, for example. But if we didn't next season, it's not the end of the world. The aim isn't to win the Champions League next season. It's just to be in it, be part of it, and hopefully have it as a taste of things to come. And that leads me to point number 4, which is the key to next season is not the Champions League. We can go do our best in the Champions League, obviously, but the key is to qualify again for the Champions League next season. So this time next year, we need to make sure that we are back in it again, because actually we might get knocked out in the group stage, like I said. That doesn't matter next season. But if we qualify again, then that's when your expectations can start to grow and start to think of the knockout stages and things like that. That's what it's all about. So we have to qualify next season. That is the number 1 aim next season. It is to qualify in the top 4 again next season. Really, really important. And the last thing that I think I just wanted to mention in this video, the 5th thing, was just enjoy it. Enjoy this moment. If you're a younger fan in particular who's not experienced this before, you're in for a treat, because some of my best memories following Newcastle were in European competitions. And in fact, I'll put my absolute number 1 highlight of following Newcastle as being going to Milan when we drew 2-2 in the San Siro. That was my absolute favourite moment of being a Newcastle supporter ever. I feel so privileged that I had that memory. And it's mad that that was 20 years ago. And we basically haven't played in the Champions League since then. We played 1 game after that at home to Barcelona and nothing since. That is crazy. So to be back 20 years later in the Champions League is so exciting. It's here to enjoy. Ignore what people say. Ignore the haters. It's going to be mint. And I'm just absolutely buzzing about it.